Wednesday evening begins on Thames Television with a fatal distraction in Cluedo.
You are invited to a murder. A stranger lies dead in Arlington Grange. There are 6 suspects, but which one is the killer? Could it be Mrs. Peacock, lady of the manor and beautiful society hostess? Perhaps Colonel Mustard, military hero and intimate family friend? Is Reverend Green a saint or sinner? Is it Professor Plum, a man with a degree of suspicion? Miss Scarlet, Mrs. Peacock's glamorous stepdaughter? Or Mrs. White, loyal housekeeper and devoted confidant? Your host for Cluedo, Chris Tarrant.
Hello there, welcome to Cluedo. There's been another murder committed at Arlington Grange. It's rather strange people keep booking in there, really, isn't it? Now, once again, you can test your powers of deduction at home. You can play along and see if you're faster of wit than tonight's celebrity guest detectives. They are author and agony aunt Claire Rayner, comedian, game show host Andrew O'Connor. It's all a bit upmarket tonight because we've got from posh frocks and new trousers, Annabelle Giles, and from Surprise, Surprise and the Krypton Factor, Gordon Burns.
Yeah, we're going to get this. Thanks a lot.
Right, concentration everybody. Gordon, you'll find that this makes the Krypton Factor look like snakes and ladders. Now, all it needs is power of deduction for Cluedo and elimination. Eventually, we want to know who did the deed, where it was done, and what it was done with. You're all nodding at me.
Yes, I'm
Right.
agreeing.
Now, basically, first of all, I can tell you it was done with one of these 6 weapons. Nasty-looking weapons, but which one was it? Was it the palette knife, the cheese wire cutter, the poison, the golf club, the rope, or the scissors? It was done with one of those weapons, and we also know that the murder was committed in one of these 6 rooms. But which one? Was it the kitchen? Was it done in the study, the dining room, the drawing room, the billiard room, or the library? Okay, 6 weapons, 6 rooms. You'll get a chance to interrogate the suspects in just a few minutes' time, but first the evidence. A top TV soap star has arrived at Arlington Grange. Marianne Cray, a lady with a dubious past and probably a dubious future.
How dare! You stupid woman!
What's this? Film props. Uninsurable. Those are the actual artist's tools used by George Valaris.
George Valaris?
Yes. This is the house he lived and died in. Some of his best work was done here. Oh, I believe the paintings arrived.
In the drawing room.
Vivian Scarlett.
Mr. Toby Taylor, the director. Darling.
Miss Scarlett and I met at a film seminar, didn't we, darling? You were very... she was very interested in my work.
Maisie? I've just been checking up on my old diaries. That is right, isn't it? Maisie Medford from Maidenhead. How you've changed.
So have you. You used to have lovely teeth. Elizabeth, Lizzie and I were at RADA at about the same time.
Esserine.
What?
Eye drops. Almost undetectable if imbibed, but fatal. Some people believe it was poison that killed George Valaris.
Nonsense. He hanged himself.
You obviously know the story then. A young artist, destroyed before his genius could flower, whose only true love was his cherished, adoring, and exquisite Louisa.
To be portrayed on screen by you, naturally.
Naturally. It's my name, my project, and my money. Isn't that right, Toby?
Yes, darling.
Not again! This woman is ridiculous. She must simply be put out to pasture. Sorry, darling. My nerves. I need my space. I need a drink. Is someone going to show me to my room?
This way.
say, darling, this really is the worst possible form. An old friend, not so much as a drink in my room.
Friend? Marian, darling, don't delude yourself. The reason you're here is purely financial.
I'm not still bearing grudges after all these years.
Grudges, Maisie. The lead in King's Destiny was mine until that convenient bout of food poisoning. Wasn't it lucky that you just happened to be my understudy?
Are you saying I tried to poison you? Oh, that jealousy really has turned you insane, my darling.
You stole my role and destroyed my career.
A little word of advice. All this venom will only aid you. If you're not careful, you're going to need another facelift. Not again. Eavesdropping as well as incompetence. You are ill, woman. Well. This seems to be my day for open faces.
It can't be. Maisie.
Where have you been hiding? Marianne Cray, darling, sweetheart of the soaps.
Just remember, I'm a man of the cloth.
I thought it was some kind of kinky fancy dress.
So, you're part of this film they're making. Say, just a minute, please, Maisie. Marianne, please. This is jolly embarrassing. I mean, it's delightful to see you again, but please, can we just be good friends? This doesn't sound very reassuring.
As I remember, you left me in the lurch. This movie means a lot to me, Rev. It's been a long time since those American soaps, but seeing you today has given me an idea. If this movie fails, I'll sell my life story. I can just see the headlines in the Sundays. Marianne Cray, my sexy romps with Randy Rev.
But you wouldn't.
A girl's got to make a living, darling.
You wouldn't be that naughty, Maisie. Marianne, don't fool me. Come, have a civilized drink with me and let bygones be bygones.
You promised me.
Say, steady on. Look, I'm sorry. It's Marianne's decision. The script was rewritten and there's nothing in it for you.
Talking of script, I would like a look at this one.
Just a minute. This is private property.
Exactly my thoughts. Now let me see it.
I'm afraid I can't. This script reveals the truth about why George Valaris killed himself. It's hot stuff.
Hot stuff.
Valaris had everything to live for, and yet some demon drove him over the edge.
It was drink.
Oh. And you're an expert, I suppose.
I should be. I wrote the bloody thing.
It's the trouble these days. Everybody wants to be in movies.
Where is Marianne Cray?
Miss Cray is resting.
Yeah, she'll be resting behind bars by the time I'm finished with her.
Cute! For the orphanage kiddies party.
No hard feelings, darling. You must use your phone.
Why don't you use the one in the library?
Fine. It's a quick call to Mel, that's all.
Mel?
Gibson, darling. Simply wild for the part of George Valaris.
I won't be having lunch, Mrs. White. I don't feel too good.
Oh, shame.
Isn't that prop thingy?
Oh, so it is. Oh, dear, she's got me so wound up, that evil woman. You know, she treats Mrs. Peacock like dirt. Ooh, if anybody deserves their comeuppance, it's that woman.
That looks lethal. What are you doing with it?
I'm just putting it together with the rest of the props. They should all be kept together in one place.
My God! Get the police. She's dead. Marion Cray is dead.
So, the final curtain call for Marianne Cray. But who killed her? Two people know. I'm one of them. The other one is the murderer. Now, you've seen 6 suspects, but which one has the strongest motive for murder? Was vengeance the motive for murder for Mrs. Peacock? Did jealousy cause Marianne to be starstruck by Miss Scarlett? Did Marianne's insults incite Mrs. White to murder? Or did the Reverend Green decide to literally bury his past? Was a stolen script enough to turn Professor Plum into a killer? Or did some dark secret lead to Marianne's death at the hands of Colonel Mustard? Our 6 suspects. Right, you've seen 6 suspects, 6 weapons, and 6 rooms. I've never known Claire Rayner so quiet. You look worried.
Well, I am worried. I mean, mayhem in nice houses. It's not nice. Now.
Come on then, right. Well, yes, you can. I'll tell you just quickly, you can ask each suspect 1 question. OK, now the 5 innocent ones must tell the truth. Only the murderer can lie, and he or she probably will.
Well,
OK, and I want you to eventually work out for me where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it. Right, Claire.
I think I'd like to ask Professor Plum about this script you wrote. Why didn't the director know that you had written that first script? Very odd, Dad.
I had never met the director, I'd never heard of the director. All of my dealings were with Marilyn Cray, so I have no idea why he didn't know about it. But when I found out that it was going to make a lot of money and I was not going to be part of the proceeds, I was very, very angry.
Ah, thank you, Professor.
OK, Annabelle Gordon.
Mrs. White, the question is, are you whiter than white? After you were accused of eavesdropping, you went on into the library, did you not? You closed the door. What were you doing in there?
Well, I went in to see Mrs. Peacock because that woman had been drinking everything she could lay her hands on ever since she got in the house.
I can corroborate that, actually.
And, I mean, I know they were paying for the use of the hall, but I didn't know they were allowed to drink everything inside. And I just wanted to ask Mrs. Peacock what I ought to do about it.
Right, Claire and Andrew.
Yes, well, yes, you ask.
I think I will. Miss Scarlett, now that Marianne has joined that great equity casting hall in the sky, do you intend to get a part in the film? And now she's out of the way, will you get a part with your relationship with the director, do you think?
Well, I quite honestly hadn't thought about it yet. I mean, it's quite soon after the event, and I'm still shocked by what happened, but I don't see why not.
Mr. Tarrant, am I supposed to believe this?
Yes, I think you probably are.
OK, fair enough.
Rather excitable, I am sorry. Annabelle Gordon.
Yes, getting a bit of a shock there. I have a question for Mrs. Peacock.
Yes?
Why did you agree to let your house out to Maisie Medford if she is such an arch-enemy and responsible for the demise of your whole career?
I'm afraid I had no idea who she was. The dealings, the production company with whom I spoke were called Cray Productions. I sort of produced it, thought it might be something to do with the Cray twins. I had no idea who Marianne Cray was.
Right, come on then, 1 more each. I want to know where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it. 1 more question each, then.
I think the Reverend Green, how intimate were you with Miss Marianne Cray in the past? And was there anyone else who knew about this intimacy apart from yourself and the dead lady?
How intimate was I with her?
Intimate, I chose the word very carefully. Kisses and the cuddles and all that sort of stuff, Reverend Green. She came very close to you. We saw her.
Absolutely.
We saw her. I think you're equivocating somewhat.
Did you,
intimate, I said.
The question was how intimate, really.
Reverend, did you snog her?
Well, my friend.
Snog?
Did you snog her?
It's a man of the cloth,
I don't know what snog means, but I suppose we were quite friendly.
Sexually friendly?
Yes.
Did anyone...
Yes.
I told you, it's all right. I just want to know if anyone else knew about it apart from you.
I certainly hope not.
Reverend. Annabelle Gordon.
Right.
Yes, what are we on? We're on Colonel Mustard.
Yep, last
Cheese
one.
cutter. What about that one?
What did you do with it?
What cheese cutter?
The prop thingy.
The prop thingy, or the cheese
prop
cutter.
thingy,
I
yes.
put the cheese cutter into the billiard room of the other film properties, where they were kept.
Were they?
All the properties for the film were kept in the billiard room. And I put the cheese cutter there.
Thank you.
Right, OK, now you've had your chance to interrogate these 6 suspects. You've learned an awful lot about their private life, if nothing else. But has it helped you? I want to know where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it. Claire Rayner.
Oh, dear.
Andrew O'Connor. Come on, what have you come up with?
OK. I think
Yeah,
so.
we were. Well, in that case...
We think that the crime happened in...
The study. Yes, we think it was the study, because that's where we saw her last, before, you know, keening over her.
Yes, we think the object that did the dirty deed was...
Scissors.
Scissors, absolutely. Scissors.
And who are? Well, working on the principle that the person who finds the body is very often the villain, we think it was you, Professor Plum.
Professor Plum.
I wish I had.
Well, I'll tell you how I did in just a second. Annabelle Gordon.
Right, well, we felt that it was probably done in the kitchen.
Yes, we did.
Now, we've reasons for thinking it was done in the kitchen. We also think that the weapon used was the golf club. And we think that the murderer or the murderess was Mrs. White, who had been so upset. She was very protective of Mrs. Peacock. We may even think she was the housekeeper of the
Mr.
previous
Valaris.
tenant, Mr. Valaris, in the house, and that's why she committed the murder. That's our theory, anyway.
Right, Annabelle Gordon, you said it was the kitchen, the golf club, and Mrs. White. Now, I have to tell you that one of those 3 is correct. Claire and Andrew, you said it was the study, the scissors, and Professor Plum. Well, I can tell you that none of those is right.
Oh, good.
Nowhere near. Oh, good. Goody, goody.
Eliminator. Eliminator.
Yes. Yes, because it does mean it wasn't done in the study, it wasn't done with the scissors, and it wasn't done by Professor Plum. He's innocent. Right. More evidence in a couple of minutes' time to find out who killed Marianne Cray. Join us again on Cluedo. Welcome back to the second part of Cluedo. Andrew O'Connor, Claire Rayner doing battle against Annabelle Giles and Gordon Burns. And we haven't got very far so far, have we? I can tell you, in trying to find out who killed Marianne Cray, top TV soap actress at Arlington Grange. Gordon and Annabelle, you said it was done in the kitchen with a golf club and it was done by Mrs. White. One of those is right, but the other 2 are incorrect. Claire and Andrew reckon that it was done in the study with the scissors by Professor Plum, and we can tell you that all 3 of those are totally inaccurate. So at least we know that Professor Plum is innocent. But before we get on with interrogating the others, and we can still interrogate Professor Plum if we want to, some more fresh evidence has suddenly arrived. Back at Arlington Grange, we catch up in the drawing room with Miss Scarlett.
That bitch had me written out of the script.
What a shame, Vivian. And so the sessions on Toby's casting couch were a waste of time.
I'm just trying to tidy up. Oh, now then. Do you think they want this? They've got me so nervous now about everything.
Throw it in the rubbish, woman. Throw the damn paintings in the rubbish for all I care.
Miss Cray, it is my idea.
Don't be ridiculous. It's public domain. A true story.
You agreed, your company agreed, a 50-50 deal if the film was made. I demand acknowledgement.
All right. Thank you very much, and goodbye.
Right, so that's all the evidence so far. We're trying to find out who murdered Marianne Cray. Now, who do you want to ask your first question?
I fancy the Colonel.
There's no need to bring that into it, Claire.
What I want to know, Colonel Mustard, is you seemed remarkably knowledgeable about this chap Valaris. When, right at the beginning, you know, when the film people first arrived, and you said firmly that he was hanged, you looked shifty, uncomfortable and worried. Now, I want to know, what is it you know about Valaris? What is your past connection with this gentleman?
George Valaris lived in the Grange.
Yes, but that's...
Years before, and I also lived in the vicinity of the Grange, so I obviously knew George Valaris. I didn't like him at all. He wasn't in my social strata.
You look very shifty, you see, when you talked about him. What, were you shifty?
No, not shifty at all.
You look fairly shifty now, to be honest with you.
Well, yes, exactly. I'm worried.
Right, come on. I want to know where it was done, what it was done with, and who done it.
Well, I don't think there's any doubt it was done in the kitchen.
It was
because
done
that
in
was
the
right
kitchen.
from the last... Yes.
In the kitchen, with the food blender.
No, stop playing. If it was done in the kitchen... And I suspect, I do think it was Colonel Mustard, and the only weapon he had to hand was the cheese cutter. So I think he garroted her with a cheese cutter.
So you're saying to me, yes, you've obviously done a lot of garroting before.
Yes.
It's the kitchen, the cheese wire cutter, and you're saying it's
Colonel
Colonel
Mustard. Yes, that's what we think.
I can tell you that 2 of those are right, and 1 of them's wrong. Right, come in, Giles and Burns. Thank God you're here.
I'll back you up all the way.
Mustard.
Not me again.
Yeah.
What happened to the golf club?
The golf club? I don't know. I left it there by mistake, actually. I wasn't feeling very well at the time. I don't know what happened to it afterwards.
Come on, Gordon.
We can guess
Laser
now.
brain Burns.
We think it was in the kitchen, we think it was with the golf club, and we think it was Colonel Mustard.
Did it?
I can tell you that 2 of those are correct, and 1 of them's wrong. Back to you, Rayner and O'Connor. Come on.
So, Miss White.
Mrs. White.
Mrs. White, what happened? You picked up the golf club at one point, did you not? We saw you do that quite clearly. What did you do with the golf club? Just out of interest, what did you do with it?
Well, I took it into the hall, and we've got a sort of big, hollowed-out elephant's foot, and I put it in there with a lot of walking sticks and things like that.
Yes.
Okay. Chris, we are convinced that it's Colonel Mustard because we don't believe that
I want to know where it was done, first of all.
We still think it was the kitchen, right?
We think it was the kitchen.
We still think it was Colonel Mustard.
I want to
The
know what
weapon. The weapon is the problem.
The weapon.
There he sits, evil as sin, you can see. But what did he do it with? It wasn't the cheese cutter, it wasn't the golf club. Is he the sort of chap
one question.
poison?
What? No more questions.
Oh,
All right, no more questions. I'll give it to Annabelle.
he used the rope.
That's-
Yes, it's the sort of thing he would do as well.
It was the kitchen.
Yes.
It was the rope, and it was Colonel Mustard who killed Marianne Cray.
Valaris was an obnoxious little runt. He took a fortune from his wife, and then he had a series of affairs behind her back. I found out about it, and I blackmailed him. He paid for a bit, and then the heat got too much for him, and he topped himself. These sensitive, artistic types. All this was ancient history until Marianne Cray arrived. I took a look at the script, and I knew that eventually the finger would point at me. This film had to be stopped. I saw Marianne through the study window. She was frantic because someone had cut up those stupid photographs. Then she went into the kitchen to have a spot of booze to steady herself. The timing was perfect. I came in the back door. I saw the rope that Mrs. White had thrown into the rubbish. And no more Marianne.
So Marianne Cray was killed by Colonel Mustard in the kitchen with the rope. My apologies to the other 5 of you. You are innocent. You are free to go. Only Colonel Mustard must remain for a very, very, very long time. Hope you got it rather more logically and probably rather more quickly than our detectives tonight at home. But commiserations to Annabelle Giles and Gordon Burns. Congratulations to Andrew O'Connor and Claire Rayner. And that's your lot from us this week. Join us again next week for another murder mystery at Arlington Grange on Cluedo. Good night.
In fact, Cluedo returns at the same time in 2 weeks. Next week at 7:10, there's live and exclusive coverage of the European Cup Winners' Cup final between Manchester United and Barcelona.